Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is INX Prime Live. Remember, we are on your screens every single Monday to Friday between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Now, Mmanoko Phukubje, sorry, let me get that right. MmanokoFoundations is the founder of the MmanokoFoundations, which was established in 2018. Since then, the foundation has managed to donate over thousands of sanitary pads and school shoes to children in both rural and urban schools across South Africa. Now, she's also an author of the book called The Waiting Womb, which is about a Christian perspective on how men deal with infertility. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Sorry about that in the start. I just wanted to get your name correct. But I just want to get into your foundation. Now, we know that the Mmanoko Foundation was established in 2018, as we did mention. Yes. And you've done some incredible work so far. But I want to talk about impact. Let's talk about the impact that you've had when it comes to children and all of the young people in South Africa when it comes to the foundation work that you do.
Thank you so much. I think the impact that the foundation has had since it was started in 2018, because mostly when I started, it was just like a birthday giveaway. And when I went to the schools and I realized the demand that was there, then it was no longer a birthday thing. It became an ongoing something. It became an ongoing thing. So far we have managed to donate sanitary pads to the children at rural areas and both at urban areas, because when the more we went to the school, that's more we realized that there's a lot of demand, and the kids, they don't only need the sanitary pads, they only need some of the things which we are now donating the school shoes to them.
Yeah, Mmanoko, I just want to touch on your foundation a little bit more, right? I mean, you've done such great work, like we did mention. You said thousands and thousands of pads have been distributed over the last few months and years. Let's talk about some of the success stories, some of the projects that went really, really well, that have really impacted people's lives. Maybe you can mention one or two of the main projects.
Okay. We did one in Alexandra. We went to the primary school. When we went there, we were not aware that children at primary school have already started with their menstrual cycle. And just a day before we arrived, the teacher said to me, you know, yesterday I saw something very strange. I noticed that a girl was on her cycle and she didn't have the sanitary pads. So the teacher says this girl just went to the tap because I think she used socks as a sanitary pad. And then she realized that it was full. Then she went to the tap, washed it, and as she was like soaking it, trying to dry it, the teacher realized it was blood coming out. So then she couldn't, like, the child didn't have anyone to talk to. So us going there, I think it was a relief for someone to say, you're not alone in this thing.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys don't just distribute, but you also mentor at the same time. Yes. And also provide advice and consulting as well, which is such an important thing. I want to touch on your book, though. I know your book is quite prominent as well in South Africa. It's called The Waiting Womb. Yes. And I just wanted to understand a little bit more. We know that the title has to do with the Christian perspective when it comes to how men deal with infertility. Yes. But what inspired you to write this book, and what do you hope to achieve from having this book out?
What inspired me to write this book, I think it's my husband, obviously, because he made me realize that such topics, men, they don't normally speak about them, because we've been raised in a society where we've been told men don't cry. You have to be strong for your family. Your emotions and feelings must always take a back seat so that you become strong. But as you're becoming strong for them, who is becoming strong for you? Who is there for you?
Yeah, and I want to touch on that a little bit more, because, we have so many young men in South Africa committing suicide. Yes. Mental health is such a bad problem, and, it's only noticeable when it comes to women and it's acceptable. But like you mentioned, when it comes to men, a lot of people still feel like it's taboo to speak out about these things. I want to talk about that impact that you've had when it comes to your book now, and your book playing such an important role when it comes to creating awareness for mental health issues, specifically when it comes to infertility.
I think it has to start from home. As they say, charity begins at home. I think parents, as parents, we should stop the way we are treating our girls or boys. We should treat them as human beings. Like if your son come from playing, and he says, I was playing, Princess had me. And the first thing is like, Princess is just a girl, you know. So be a man, or be strong. You can't be crying. Your friends are going to laugh at you. So it starts from there. Like, they grow up knowing that as a man, you can't cry if a girl beats you. So the more we teach them at an earlier stage, they will grow up as citizens that are responsible, and they are aware that it's okay to feel vulnerable.
Yeah, I want to talk about, I mean, the topic of the book is quite controversial, and it's good that it's controversial because controversy sells.
Yes.
But just touching on the idea of communities, you know, like we did mention earlier, a lot of your young people that are committing suicide, young males, a lot of them feel alone. They don't feel like they have support within their own families, within their communities. Why is it important for us to be able to take care of communities and grow communities so that people like young men and young females who are feeling depressed or have mental health issues are well protected as well?
It's okay to be a girl, and it's okay to be a boy. I think it has to start there, because as the community, we should be able to embrace the gender of our kids. Like, don't make them feel like it's a mistake to be themselves. Acceptance. Let us not make them feel either way. If it started home, then the community, then the whole world.
Yeah, and I just want to touch on people's feedback from the book.
Yes.
You know, males and females, how has it been so far?
Very well, positive. I never thought that there are so many people who have experienced or are going through the same challenge, but it was through the book that I was able to realize that so many people needed to open up, but they just didn't have no one to talk to. So I'm glad.
I mean, a lot of men definitely have that problem, specifically when it comes to, like you did mention, when it comes to infertility and those kind of environments in particular with their families and their wives. Yes. Touching on some of the emotional issues that men face in those moments, maybe you can address some of them.
The emotional issues, because my book is mainly based on a Christian perspective, I will just refer to the story of Abraham. When God was about to bless him, he went to him and said, I will make you a great nation. I will make your children as numerous as the stars in the skies. And so the first question that Abraham asked God was, but out of all those things, who's going to inherit all that, because I don't have a child? So when men don't have children, sometimes they feel like, what am I working for? Who am I working for? Who's going to inherit all the wealth that I have worked for?
Yeah, and just touching on your two different, because it is two different platforms, right? And they do connect quite well, because you have the platform where you are doing amazing work with the foundation, but you're also an author of a really incredible book. So the two of them connect quite nicely. What would you like to see in terms of value that you can bring to society from these two platforms?
The foundation is mainly focusing at children at school, which really means that if we teach them at a very earlier age or earlier stage, we will be able to create the society that is full of people that are knowledgeable. They know that it's okay to be themselves, and they know that they are not expected to behave somehow just because they are females or just because they are males. It's okay for them to be human beings, and they should be treated like one.
I like that. We're getting a lot of questions coming in from social media. I'm going to start off first with Abel. Abel wanted to know, in terms of your foundation, yes, is there any future events happening that is taking place in the near future?
4th of November, this coming month, we'll be launching the book officially at Rivonia Recreational Center. So they can get hold of me on my Facebook page, is at Phukubje, Malebati, or they can contact us on WhatsApp 078 618 3708, and then we'll give them all the details.
Brilliant. We have one more question before we let you go.
Yes.
Mariki just wanted to know if she wants to actually volunteer in terms of your foundation, can she do so?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. Same contact details, right?
Yes, same contact details, 0786183708.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. It's been my absolutely pleasure to be here. Just last one. I know our time is really up. So I'll leave you with the scripture from Genesis, where God created both male and female. The Bible says, he said, be blessed, multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. So when God was releasing or speaking that blessing, he actually released the blessing to a male and a female. And at that time, he didn't mean through intercourse. In other words, God is expecting us to multiply, he's expecting us to be fruitful, and he's expecting us to subdue the earth. So the more, up until we haven't done that, then it means our wombs are still waiting to produce those fruits that have been released from us. So let's multiply.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Guys, that is Mmanoko from the Mmanoko Foundation, just sharing with us more information on the work that she does and also her book called The Waiting Womb. You guys have to go out there and definitely purchase her book. But on that note, we are going to take a quick ad break. We'll come right back.